I used to think that investing was hard, boring, or complicated, but I found the perfect stock investing course that showed me how to invest as a complete newbie. Now I can build wealth in the stock market and do all the things that I enjoy at the same time. Check out the Lazy Investor Stock course and get started on your wealth building journey today.
How are you doing? This is David W. Williams, also known as the retail trader. So, quick example I want to kind of show you in regards to volatility and how I understand it. Okay, so I've spoken a lot of times about how, as traders, what we're doing is we're buying volatility and we're selling that volatility back into the market. Want to give an example of what I mean, right? I had spot puts going out till the end of this month, right? Now, yesterday when I purchased them, we was at a 27 VIX, right? VIX overnight went to a 40, and then we opened up this morning, VIX was at a 38. What I was able to do was get a large increase in premium because what? Because of the VIX going up. So now the perceived volatility in the market went up overnight, right? It really didn't matter as much as about the gap down. The gap down helped. But what really helped is that the perceived volatility, the uncertainty around the market, the perceived volatility in the near future went up overnight. What I was able to do was exit out of those puts. Those puts don't expire until the end of this particular month. I didn't really anticipate on exiting out of those puts until late next week. But I got out of them this morning because why? I got a 10-point increase in the VIX. That increased the premium on those puts just off that, right? So even though the move helped, what really helped was the increase in the VIX, right? And it didn't make sense for me to say, well, let me hold them till Monday, because here's the thing. If on Monday we open up and the VIX is 30, right, I would have lost a lot of premium over the weekend. On Monday, if we open up and the VIX is 20, I would have had a really, really big decrease in premium. Okay, so let me give an example. On Monday, if we open up and the VIX is 30, I would have had a big decrease in premium. If Monday we open up and the VIX is 25, I would have had a massive decrease in premium, even if the SPY is still selling or the SPY opens up and trades flat, but it still opens up, let's say, in the 515 to 520 range, right? Because the perceived volatility has gone down. Now, here's something. If they don't come to some type of resolution, Jerome Powell's going to get ready to speak. By the time you watch this video, Jerome Powell may have already spoken. But if they don't come to some resolution probably this weekend, and Jerome Powell doesn't have the ability to soothe the market probably will puke on itself on Monday morning, and the VIX may be 50, right? However, why take that risk when I can leave with a large amount of profit today? Because there's a lot of things I could do with the SPY, right, on a shorter time frame, and still keep the majority of my profit and not put that profit into the risk going over the weekend. Because the risk is going to be the same as somebody that's holding the equity position, as somebody that has the options. If the total scenario changes over the 2 days on the weekend, or maybe changes early morning Monday before the market, right, it could really damage my position. And so that's why I always encourage people, take profits. You can always try to figure out how to get back in if you can. Sometimes you've made your money and it's time to get out of the market, right? It's not always time to where the market is hot right now, but you don't have a position. For me to try to force myself into the market to get a position because I see there's a lot of opportunity. Sometimes you don't have a position. I know a guy who trades a really, really big cash account. He pulled all his cash out of the market. So he says, you know what? It doesn't make sense for me to try to get in right now because I've already pulled everything out, right? There's another guy I know who bought a lot of long dated puts in February. I know he's sitting on a lot of money right now because ever since February, the market has just kept selling off, selling off, selling off, selling off. So sometimes you don't have the opportunity to take advantage. It doesn't mean force your way in. But what I want to always encourage you to do is understand what you're trading. If you're trading a derivative, especially options, you're normally trading a volatility instrument. The goal, from my understanding around volatility, to really simplify it, is to buy volatility, sell it back into the market. If volatility allows me to profit, right, I would rather take that profit and then try to look for another entry, because this situation is going to be very, very dynamic. We can see the VIX go down and then come back up based on the dynamics of this particular situation, as opposed to holding my position, trying to get an extra 30, 40%, losing a large amount, right? trying to get an extra 20, 30%. There's a lot of money to be made in this market right now. It's been a lot of money to be made in this market on the downside of this market since, let's say, the top of the year. This is why I've been pressing people to learn how to trade, learn how to make money when the market goes up, also when the market goes down. And as for somebody that has been really heavily, I would say, has gotten really, really good at puts, and it's kind of made my brain off that, it's been really, really easy for me to take opportunity. And like I said, haven't made millions of dollars, but I made more than most people just sitting back complaining about their 401k. And so I try to teach people, hey, create some type of downside protection in the market. There's a lot of opportunities you can do that, either playing the VIX or taking some long out of the money puts on the spot. So when you get events like this, you're able to generate some type of profit as opposed to just watching your portfolio bleed. So hope that made sense to you. Hope you got some value from it. David W. Williams, a retail trader, trying to help retail traders get success in the market. Talk to you later.
Here is a testimonial for the highest paid part-time job in the world from Katrina Alexander.
So I'm approaching 3 years in this academy. All of my accounts have increased trading, investments, business, and personal accounts. This academy can produce results in all areas of your life when you do the work. Yes, you have to work on your psychology and mindset to get the results.
Are you tired of struggling with your options trading? The highest paid online is having a March Madness sale on the VIP course. Use code MARCH40 to receive 40% off the VIP course. This sale ends on March 31st, 2025. Go to highestpaid.online and get started today.